All right, right. Um, I wanted to make a video because I guess that's kind of what was guided of me. I kind of experienced a lot of things recently, the last like few days, weeks, months, and one of the biggest things that I experienced was like I experienced so much that like it was wild, bro. Like I experienced so much. I would be sitting here talking for hours if I talked about everything that I experienced. It's almost like that unbelievable, but it's just not even just about it being unbelievable. It's that much stuff. So let me see what resonates and what I should go into. Okay, so what resonates right now is just simply there's this thing around the energy of like my mom, right? And it's been coming up for me a lot. And, you know, a lot of things have been sitting on my mind. And I just watched a video of Dreamwise. And he basically talked about the stuff that I was experiencing. He was talking about Cole, he was talking about 50, he was talking about King, like T.I.'s son, and how like your mom truly shapes like who you are as a man. Like you could have a mother issue, right? And so for a long time, I used to be mad at my dad and shit, right? Because just he was very like he was a Marine. He was a man, 6'5" black man from New York. So he was very like aggressive and like not aggressive in a like, but you know how men have to have aggression to them. They have to have like a thing to them. So I very often, pulled back away from my father and kind of, stuck around my mom because it felt safe. Me growing up with sickle cell, it was like I want safety over everything. Like that's how I always felt. If I don't feel safe in my body, I'm going around whatever makes me feel safe. So I was, I'm trying to get into where I should start with this. I'm trying to explain some of it. Now, where I experienced a mom issue is a lot of different things, and I don't know how to really start with that. Like I could start anywhere. It don't even matter where I start. So I would have dreams that like were telling me like you basically need to get away from your mother. Like I had a dream one time that I was stuck to a wall, and I could not. Like you ever been in a dream you try and run but your body don't move? Like I could not get off the wall, and I had to force myself off that shit. But for some reason, and I know my mom was there, like she was like the focus of the dream, and I was like, I'm on this wall stuck because something with her and her energy. That's all I knew. Then I had another dream. Then I had another dream, and it was like comparing my mom to like a black widow. And what I got from this was just kind of like when you think of black widows, I believe it's black widows. I could be wrong, but when you think of black widows, I'm pretty sure black widows like eat their husband. And so like the energy, I was like, why the fuck is the dream showing me this shit, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? Like I keep getting that feeling of like, yo, you need to get away from your mother. So I had that dream, I had another dream. Um, I also had certain dreams around my mom that kind of like gave off like a weird entity thing. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just on some like, nah, bruh, right? So, I experienced all that. I went on this super journey of healing. And I was healing my body. I was healing I was aligning my chakras. I was aligning my energy bodies. I was activating and aligning, not aligning, but I was activating my meridians. I had all this energy, bro. It was ridiculous. And it was a journey that I kept pushing and pushing and pushing through. And I noticed on that journey because, well, I could look back on it now and I could feel what was going on. In the moment, it just was doing whatever resonated without the understanding. It had me doing certain things. Like my intuition had me doing certain things. At this time, I was guided by the ocean, bro. It was wow, super fire. It had me doing things that over time I started to realize it was trying to remove my mom's imprint of energy out of my field, my energy, my chakras. It was just trying to remove her energy out of all of that shit. And I mean to the point where like I had my mom's card on my phone. I used her card for food, groceries, clothes, everything. I used that shit for everything, dog. And it was like I noticed like the ocean in my energy was like, this shit gotta go. That shit was like, you gotta get rid of your car too. I could feel what the car was doing to my energy. It was making my energy, mind you, me growing up with sickle cell and then having this experience where I'm getting energy from nature to heal myself. Nothing was topping this. Nothing. So a car means nothing to having a super magical, mystical experience. Like it just, you know what I'm saying? Right? So it was like, you got to get rid of your car. You got to get rid of her card on your phone. And I'm like, you gotta understand, me having sickle cell, that's the root chakra, bro. Like, this stuff has always overcompensated for what I had to experience with the root chakra. So, you know, um, that's what I experienced with my dad. And that was the problem. My dad used to push me too much. And it was like, yeah, you're showing me I'm capable of shit, but now you're pushing me over the edge to where it feels like I'm breaking now. And that's pointless. Whereas my mom always comforted me, but too much comfort to kill you. You won't be ready for the world. So, I'm having these experiences and I notice nature's like, yo, her energy gotta go. So long story, let's get into other things. I talked about unlocking my meridians, so I could feel certain places in my body that like they unlocked, they healed, I was receiving energy here, this, that, and the other. Certain places actually felt like they had a spiritual meaning like before you could move on from this injury, you need to understand spiritually why it even existed to begin with. And some of that is like from my mom, understanding like I love my mom, but she be listening to, and it's no disrespectful to white people because white people music be cool, but it's understanding when you realize your mom not walking around the house listening to jazz music, she not dressed like them old mystical black grandmas with the locks. You start realizing like, yo, you got a white people program in you, and I'm not judging, right? My grandmother, her mom, my grandmother was my favorite grandmother, but she looked white. They could say she's Native American all they want. I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I look at a lot of my mom's habits and I'd be like, yo, y'all be doing like I mean no disrespect, but sometimes I'd be like, y'all, it seemed like y'all grew up with a white mom. And it just be like the thing that the point I'm trying to put out is like there's no spiritual consciousness there. There's none. There's no spiritual consciousness there. So I grew up with someone who was lacking a lot of spiritual consciousness. Certain things you're doing around the house, certain things you're saying, certain things you're watching, the music is like certain things are just not, you know what I'm saying? They're not there. And like I noticed like there's like a mom wound. Like there's like all I used to grow with a lot of fear and shy and anxiety, and the older I get now and I can see my mom, I'm like, yo, that's where a lot of this shit come from. Aside from having two parents that had to raise a child with a quote unquote disease, they carry a lot of scared energy. They don't say it or they don't do it, but they carry it because I be feeling it. But going in, right, I felt a certain place in my leg that needed healing. And there was a time where I had so much energy, I pushed out everything. I was like, pss, pss, everything. But along the journey, I ain't gonna hold you, I did slip. And I had, like I said, I had got rid of the car. I want to go deeper into that. I had got rid of the car. I had got rid of her phone on my card because I could feel when I had her card on my phone, I could feel her root chakra being merged with mine. It was like her root chakra was in place of mine because growing up with sickle cell, I couldn't physically do for myself. It felt like her root chakra was in place of mine. Therefore, if I'm not in my own root chakra energy, I cannot expect to be the master of my own reality. It doesn't work, right? So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Cause you gotta think like I'm using this shit to get around. I'm using this shit for everything. I didn't have no money. I'm on a magical journey that's like, no, Jabari, don't get a job right now. But I'm like, bro, where's the money coming from? What's going on here? So I when I would remove her card, and mind you, I had her card on that shit. I had her card on Amazon. I had her card on DoorDash. I had her card on Apple Pay. I had that shit on everything, and I used it for everything. And it was like every time I moved, like a piece of whatever was coming from her root chakra, I would feel myself, and I would feel myself heal. And I'm like, shit. So I kept doing that because nature is saying you gotta heal, you gotta be you. And I'm glad Dreamwise used the word because he said your own spiritual sovereignty. You have to be in that if you're gonna be a master reality and be conscious of this, that, and the other. Let me hit up these people because they playing. Right? Maybe I should. Did that nigga respond? Maybe I was supposed to wait. Holy shit. I understand you're frustrated with the trends and like I'm here to help you with your refund. Could you please provide any additional data screenshot? So hell yeah, nigga, I gotta provide some screenshots. Nigga, right at the top. Okay. I'm just trying to think basically I guess if you refund, please provide any. I'll make sure to process your request. Alright, right, because DoorDash playing games. So, um, what was I saying? Right, removing my mom's. Thank you for sending the screenshot. I understand if station caused by the changes to location. I've initiated a refund for the difference in your order total. Please note that due to bank processing time, the refund may take 5 to 7 business days to appear as a statement crediting your original pay. If you have any more questions, no, that is all. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, they tripping though. Thank you for letting me know. If you need further assistance, feel free to reach out. Have a great day. Too. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, yo, they tripping. Let me do this. They changed my order. Like, why would you change my order without telling me? That makes nice. That makes no sense. And now there's problems with my order. Like, the fuck? I'm paying for that. Okay, so back what I was saying. Um, right. So my energy starts healing. So I want to go into a story about. I'm talking low because I'm in an Airbnb and I think it's like 10. It's 9:30. I'm very high on respecting people. This place isn't mine. There's other people here that I'm big on that, and I'm big on that because I grew up in a house where I didn't feel respected. In the sense that my parents just open the door, they don't knock, come in my room, barge in. So I'm very big on that. So when I first got my car, um, my mom brought me to a Honda Civic dealership because we was like, all right, we're gonna get you a Honda because I was gonna start working and I wasn't gonna be able to get to work. Nobody could take me, so my mom was like, "All right, we're gonna get you a Honda." My parents were both middle class. You know what I'm saying? They worked hard for their money. Da 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 da. My mom, we had an old Mercedes from her father who had passed away, but it had so many problems. German engineering cost a lot of money, so she basically traded that to make this lease really easy for me to take care of. So when she went to go to get the car, right? You're good. Go ahead. Don't have fear. This is you working through your pain. Don't repress that shit. When she went to go get the car, when we went to the Honda Civic to get the car, they pulled up a car. It was like an older Honda Civic. It wasn't like old. It was still kind of new, but it was nice. I didn't want it because I believe it had like white or light color seats. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want that because I know like I was a messy nigga. I was gonna fuck that shit up. I just knew for a fact I was gonna mess it up. So I thought that in mind. I thought that was actually very reasonable for me to be like no. And my mom was kind of like, well, it's still a car, and like she was trying to do the whole, like it's a car, you should be grateful and all that. And it's like that energy of like, Like it's almost like she's trying to control me and do the absolute most, because I'm like, what the fuck is the big deal? There's no rush for us to just pick a car right now. Like, it's like she wants this certain reaction out of me. Like, he should be like, oh my god, thank you, and like it. You see how I'm getting like this like fidgety? That's how the energy feels around her, because she's like, I don't know what the hell that is. Let us know if anything didn't arrive. What the fuck is this? Maybe that's the customer. I mean, the person, right? Whatever, right? So it's like, I'm the type of person is that I can be patient. I can wait for something that's like, all right, this fits me. If it had costed less and it fit me, fine. What's the problem? But I'm in no rush to do anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Mars and Taurus, dog. I'm a Mercury and Taurus. I think and move at the same pace of like, well, if it don't, if it don't fit me, I'm not in no rush to get the car today. I'd rather wait and be patient another day or two or a week and get what's really gonna fit me, so that way I don't have to complain later. So I was like, no, I don't want this car. The light seats, I don't want to do that. I'm a messy nigga. I'm being honest with myself. So we leave. Um, I guess I have to work the next day or some shit. I come home and there's a car sitting in the driveway, and I'm like, my girl at the time is dropping me off. Like, I guess she picked me up from work. She's like dropping me off, and there's a car sitting in the driveway, and it's like a brand new like Honda Civic. It's like the year of this lease, and I had a mixed feeling. I had a mixed feeling. On one hand, my first feeling was kind of like, nigga, like, are you serious, dog? Like, what I'm saying? That was one feeling. And then my girl on the other hand, she was like, Jabari, it's a car. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm grateful, but it's like, it's almost like somebody handing you $1,000 and then smack you in the face. You don't know how to respond, right? So this causes a problem. It causes a psychological issue. People might say, "Oh, you're in good." I hate when people say stupid shit like that. This ain't Sweet 16. I wasn't asking for no Lamborghini. I'm like, yo, this is my first car. It's like a special thing. I want it to be something that really fits me in my own choice. I'm not sitting here asking for no more expensive shit. The only thing I will say at the time is I wanted to get an Accord because I thought Accords had more leg room. That's the only thing. But again, it wasn't like Accord or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we could have waited, bro, until after work. So it was almost like somebody taking the decision away from you. And it's like, yo, why are you doing this? That's weird, bro. It's like when like your parents try and live vicariously through you. And it's like that type of energy was there. It was like a weird energy. And I'm like, on one hand, it's like you want to be grateful for a car, but it's almost like you handed me a thou and slapped me. Bro, just because you handed me a thou don't mean you get to slap me, right? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of just on some like my I don't know nothing about the world. I probably walked in and was like, can we like take it back? Because you know what I'm saying? That don't make me ungrateful. I'm like, you just did some weird shit. I didn't like it. It's not even about the car. It's about the fact you just stole the whole experience. You just stole the whole thing for what? I told you let's wait. And you went ahead and did some shit anyway. There was no reason for you to do this. I noticed this pattern throughout my entire life. My mother, every Christmas and birthday, I'd be like, yo, don't buy me no $100 shirt I'm never gonna wear. You could give me the $100. She'd give me like $100 and then some shit I never will wear. You could have just gave me 200 and I could have went and did what the fuck I wanted to do. Maybe I didn't want nothing, and when the time comes, I have the money for what I want. She do that shit. I thought this was the most selfish shit ever, because it was just like it always felt like power moves. This is the same thing I felt when my parents just walk in. They don't knock. They just walk in. Be reminded I have more power than you, and it doesn't matter about what you want or how you feel. I can't be around none of that shit, right? So I bring this up because it was like, even being around her, like my meridian would be blocked. I wouldn't have certain access to myself, my intuition, my power, because I was around my mom. Simply because I was around her, her energy was blocking me off from that, from choosing what it is. And what they showed me, like when I say they, I mean ancestors, nature, intuition, what they showed me, they was like, the side of your energy that's blocked has to do with letting go, expression, and receiving. So if this isn't clear, you're not able to receive your spiritual sovereign gifts. and abilities and rewards and all type of shit that comes from the spiritual realm. They was like, you can't receive none of that shit because you're around your mom and her energy is blocking you, because the feminine energy is receiving and her energy is like it's damn near spiritually zombie like and shit. They was like, you need to get away from that shit. And so I go into that story because it was like that. Where in reality, bro, if we was on the same page spiritually, she would have just waited. If this the car you want, yeah. It's in the budget, yeah. All right, we're going with this one, so you could have it. But she snatched that shit. So when I was getting rid of all this card off of her phone, I would feel my root chakra. It would like expand, and it would be like it felt like more of my own sovereign energy. Then I got rid of the car, and when I had the car, like I felt the shit on my energy. I'm like, yo, and I understand it's still a car. Like I get that it's a car. You know how much a car can do for you, bro. I was sleeping in my car. I was driving around. When I was running out of money, I would DoorDash just to have money to stay out in nature. So it's like I get it, but at the same time, if the spiritual realm is coming to me saying this needs to go because you're growing and journeying and you're getting away from this energy so you can be you, that's what I did. So um, I talk about this because it just seems so important, and it like I saw just how much like my mom's living in her own illusion, right? Like so, my parents have the house, right? We have a suburban house down here, da 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 da, and it's like my mom grew up in a suburban house. She grew up with both parents in the house, suburbs house, and she's like trying to relive that and relive that. And it's like they want me living there with them all the time. And it's like, dog, I'm almost 30. Like, like no, I don't want to be around you anymore. I haven't wanted to be around you for a long time, but because I've had to deal with a condition and not knowing how to navigate life, trying to get away from you is like it's not. It hasn't been realistic. So it's like she feeds that illusion of, oh, the whole family's together and da. Like, she's not living here now, but if I'm 30, I shouldn't be here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no their part there, right? And it's really limiting. It's contradicting because your parents or your mom will have the resources to support you, but it'll be in a way where it might be spiritually blocking. They'll support you, but in a spiritually blocking way. That's a problem. That's a problem. I'm gonna say it one more time. That's what that is. You have to understand that if something does not resonate spiritually on the physical plane, whether it's at first or later, it's gonna cause a problem. That's just how it works. I've experienced it so many times. So I realized that like it took me forever, and I'm like, yo, the only thing I can do is just let go of this shit. Like I have to just let go of them and this money and this time. And it's funny because Dreamwise was saying that, and it's like these are the revelations that I was also having, and it's just confirmation. Like you gotta let them go. You're not here to make everyone else happy. So it goes deeper into growing up with sickle cell, because growing up with sickle cell, all right, what is my feeling? Okay, air conditioning. I'm like, let me go put my hoodie on. Oh, my hoodie's behind me. I'm like, I spent a lot of time of my childhood, like, how can I word this? I spent a lot of time of my childhood, um, people pleasing, making other people happier because they always misunderstood me. I mean, everybody in my family, all my friends, they always misunderstood a lot of things that I did and said, and it used to drive me insane. I found myself suppressing myself so that people didn't further misunderstand me. And I realize now that I'm older that this isn't a good thing at all. And I've been doing things to make everyone else happy. Anytime I like complained about anything to like my parents, they just kind of did the like, we'll go get a job, or like, you know, we work too hard for you to be like complaining. And this is like really stupid because it's like that doesn't make everything like perfect, because you felt like you worked hard for this, that, and the other. Like it's understandable in the sense of like I get it, you worked hard, but I'm like, that doesn't mean I shouldn't call out things that are clearly not right. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Hold on. Is that where? Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm also wondering, are they going to send me an email confirmation? No, nigga, don't leave nothing on the table. Ask for that email confirmation for real. I know I'm a little all over the place, but I don't care. I'm gonna do this shit. Because they playing games. These niggas changed my order, and then the order got fucking fucked up. And then it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Y'all shouldn't have changed my order without saying nothing. How the fuck? There we go. Yes. Well, I received email confirmation. Okay. Is that too much? What am I? I'm sorry, I don't have to email confirmation for refund. You like me to like message you. You let me. I don't know what the fuck this shit is talking about. Alright, whatever that is, it doesn't resonate. I'm gonna let it be. If anything, my shit is like. Damn, did they have the computer initiating refunds? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna leave that alone. Is this my energy? Okay, back to the story. Um, yeah, you can't you can't be around your parents and be in your spiritual sovereignty. It's not possible. It's not possible. Their energy does everything it can for you to live in an illusion with them. I mean everything. So it's like she lives in this illusion of like, oh, let's all be a family that just lives in the suburbs and that. Like she's not looking for like, oh, he's 30, he has sickle cell. What does this mean like for later on? Like she's not thinking about none of that shit. And I bring it up because should I not let it be? Just let it be. I bring it up because it's I'm you understand. I think sometimes I wish I was more I was able to let people feel what I'm feeling. I feel what her energy is doing to my body. I feel what understand. I said her card being on my phone, I could feel in my body and in my root chakra. I could feel it energetically. And when I removed it, it was like taking something that was like this and going like that. It was like it started to like expand and fix itself. And I was just kind of like, huh, interesting, right? I bring this up because I feel like it's so important, and I gotta be as honest. Like being older, like when I was younger, I always called my mom super mom. She took care of everything. She took care of me when I was having sickle cell attacks. If you needed money, go to your mom. If you needed this, everything was go to my mom, right? And now that I'm older, I'm looking at so many things as like a more mature, conscious, or aware person, and I'm like, damn, you low key was fucking us over. Like you were very good with a lot of things. I can't take that away from you, but I look at certain things. I'm like, yeah, you was fucking me over, low key. It just, I only mean it in the sense of like, spiritually, I feel what being around my mom or clinging on to her for too long has been doing to me. And then I was so enmeshed with her that when I moved down here before she retired, so she stayed in Jersey and I was in Carolina for a few years, I found like subconscious ways of like replacing her with someone that would fill in that role because my mom was no longer there. And so that's why it becomes important, because realizing like you have to heal from that shit. I shouldn't be holding on to anyone so that they can fill the void of, you know, something I hadn't experienced, which was, life without living with my mom, life without absolutely needing my mom for every single thing related to the root chakra. Okay, what is this? Is this because of the refund? Or is this because of what I'm talking about? Because this is starting to piss me off now. I think it might. Oh, go back to what you were saying with um. So I basically went on this quest of just removing all of her energy, as much as removing her energy, removing her access to me. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about people pleasing, right? Pleasing everybody, in realizing that I was people pleasing, and I think the person that I've been actually doing that the most with is my mom. Like, I've been suppressing, and I realized like my mom was very controlling. Like, she'd be, I'm your mother, give me a call sometimes. I'm your mother. I worry. I'm your mother. Where are you? I mean, like, it was the most controlling shit ever. And now that I look at it, and it's like, my mom would call me to sit on the phone talking about nothing, bro. I'm going to a friend's house. Like, leave me alone. And there's a part of me that feels like, why do you act like this? Like, this is weird. And it's, I don't want to hear that shit. We normalize that shit too much. Mothers worrying. There is nothing positive about worrying. If you did your job and you're aware of this, that, and the other, and you're being healthy and aligned, you're not over worried. You're not. You know what I'm saying? If you've been around me for 30 years and you're complaining that I don't call or I don't do this, maybe you need to question that. Maybe we need to sit down and have a conversation about certain things. So I'm like, yo, that shit is smothering. That shit is smothering. I've been around you mad long, nigga. The fuck? Can I get some time to myself? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like I've been people pleasing because I've been letting those habits live. I've been letting you have too much access to me where I'm not even recognizing myself. I'm only recognizing what's been pleasing you. So when I choose me, and I decided to block everybody, I don't give a fuck. I block my whole family because my family has a perception of me that isn't real to me. I know where a lot of it came from, me being in pain that no one else had to experience. So I just did whatever eased that pain, whether it was me or not. Whether I had to put on a mask and be something else, I've always known that that wasn't me. But, you know what I'm saying? With, like, my family, it just, I had to block, my intuition was like, block everyone because they do weird stuff. But I went to go get my phone, like this phone that I have now, I had traded in, like, I had like an iPhone 11. And I was working on a project where I was recording in the rain, and that shit was low-key kind of fucked up. My intuition was like, go get a new phone. I was like, I don't have no money, I'm gonna do that. Because I had just moved my mom's, like, no, I was about to move my mom's card off. They were like, before you move your mom's card off, go get this phone. I was like, I'm gonna get it. They're like, you're gonna get it for free. I was like, what the fuck you mean for free? I went through with it. I went on Verizon. Sale, trade in your iPhone 11, get a new iPhone 16 for free. All you gotta do is pay the taxes, which is like $100. For $1,000 phone, it was like $100. So right before I got rid of my mom's card, they was like, use it to get that. And once you get that, take that card off your phone. And I was like, oh. Right, so I brought that up because my mom sees it because she's the owner of Verizon. She starts going crazy. Like, I had blocked him at this point. I wasn't talking to nobody. And I think I might have unblocked her. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I just disappeared on everyone before blocking them. I don't remember how it went. It was going crazy. I was like, I'm gonna block this, and da 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 da. You're not answering your phone. I'm gonna block. Like, they was just acting crazy. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? The whole time this shit was free. She didn't block it. She just was yapping. It was free. My mom used to send me like $200 every month, right? Because I didn't have a job. I didn't have normal living. when I did this and went to disappear, all of a sudden she stopped sending that shit. It started going by months. I wasn't getting that 200. Mind you, I needed the shit when I was out there living in my car. She started doing that. So these are like weird spiritual tactics. So like, well, if I don't send it, he'll call. He'll do this. Not knowing you doing all this is it's like if I abide by this and call you, I'm gonna get blocked off spiritually. You're spiritually blocking me off. Where you could have just left the shit keep going every time that come in, because my intuition wasn't complaining about that. But it was like her card, get that shit off your phone. Stop using her shit like that. But the 200, it didn't complain about that yet. So I was like, cool. That'll let me get food here and there, da 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 da. All of a sudden, it stopped coming through. If that was truly for me and unconditional because your son has a condition, why did it stop? I never had to remind you before, right? So I noticed my parents, consciously or unconsciously, they'll start playing certain energy games or attention games where, like, if you're not playing your role in their delusional reality, they either attack you mentally, psychologically, or emotionally, or they'll stop supporting you in some type of way. So you have to come back to them or say something or engage and do all this extra shit. And I'm like, yo, I gotta get this shit out of my energy. I can't deal with this. Like this. And it's funny because it's not necessarily like that. I was out here at the ocean trying to heal and do X, Y, Z. This shit be like showing me afterwards, understanding what was actually going on. So I'm just kind of like, bro, what the fuck, right? Like I'm just kind of like, and it starts to make me wonder, like, damn, like who the fuck would I be if I didn't have to be dealing with this shit? So I bring that up because my intuition flat out said to me some of like the greatest things that you can like pull in from the universe and your energy and your spiritual side for yourself is being blocked by your mom. You need to get away from her. You cannot be you and be around her because she's sleep and program and she does things constantly that just gets in the way. Like she just does, and it is what it is. It's on a spiritual level. She just be getting in the way. I'd be like, my dog, I need you to move, man. Like, and you can't even consciously say or do anything. So Dreamwise is basically saying whoever your mother is like who you are basically, because she was like your first God, and he was basically like, you gotta remove that shit and just keep looking at yourself as God. So my thing, basically, the only thing I'm looking at, because I understand a lot of like chakra energy, this and the other, is just individualizing and maximally healing that root chakra. Because when you heal these things, like you can just walk in an energy where shit shows up for you. You can just do that shit and it becomes very, very easy. Um, it's just my only thing for me has always been this damn root chakra that you gotta think I'm having the thing with my mom and I'm trying to basically heal sickle cell at the same time. That shit is a lot, dog. That shit was a lot. But even now that like I'm here at this Airbnb over here, okay. Even now that like I'm at this Airbnb, like I feel clear. Like I feel like I could breathe. I feel like I can go to sleep and I feel fine. Versus when I was in that house, I'd be waking up and even though they're on the first floor, I could feel I was absorbing their energy and I wasn't myself. And I constantly had to go run to nature and try and get it out. But then I'm going back in the house refilling on it. I'm like, yo, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. And it's like my parents, especially my mom, they created an energy that, and I'm gonna just speak on me from my experience, it created an energy that almost validated their job, ability, and duty as like parents by like sabotaging my ability to be myself. Oh man, you failed. Come here to mom. Come here to mom. Like even if you didn't actually fail or things went good or this, it was something that did that. Like it was like an energy that made sure I wouldn't do certain things or accomplish certain things so they could be that parent that comes along and comforts their child. And I could feel it. And it was almost like if I had chose to be myself and removed you from my life, it was almost like there was no purpose for them. That's what it started to feel like to me. And subconsciously, you know what it felt like? It felt like killing your parents. Me being myself and choosing to do things myself almost felt like I was taking their entire purpose of living away. So how many times do you think about your parents working and saying, "I'm only doing this for you. I did all this for you. I brought this into your world." La, 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 la. You see how that shit is a program? Like that's a fucking trick, weird thing. You know our parents are siphoning our energy by doing shit like this. Because if we go try and be out on our own, it's almost like their entire purpose or drive for living or working or doing the things that bring them all that they have goes away. So you're doing this by siphoning my energy. Bro, it's crazy. I could feel the shit. I put both them niggas on block. I don't give a fuck. If I feel like your energy gonna come along and distort what nature is showing me, you're getting blocked. I don't care who you are. My one thing is I had to not look back and turn back when things got hard for me trying to be on my own. Because you gotta think, being on my own is not like everyone else. It's not like, yeah, he went and got a job. He was trying to pay for his own apartment. No, bitch, I was out at the ocean, sleeping in my car with no money, not eating. But because I had so much energy from nature, it almost didn't matter. You could see me now, I'm super skinny. Super skinny, right? Like, if I actually, you see how skinny I am, and all I'm doing is just expanding my torso instead of slouching. I mean, skinny as hell, right? But that's because I haven't been eating because I was living in the car. Because if I go home, it resonates physically. I can take care of myself, eat, but I spiritually start to feel myself die. And then I don't have the same access to shit. And I'm like, no. No, 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 no. Right? So I bring this up because it's like it almost made me choose, like, you gotta choose between the spiritual and physical, which I don't like. I don't like having to choose, but the spiritual's more fun and journeyful, whatever. Um, there's only two things I'm looking at right now. There is continue being in your spiritual sovereign energy and create a flow of energy that your aura and root chakra create so that it's just there and you can get money easily. Or the other thing, you can say it out loud, the other thing is I'll have to sacrifice the spiritual and go get a job and like make enough money so that I can have both, right? That's the only thing I can think of. Now, the only way I could truly do that in a timely manner is if I worked at Amazon. That's the only thing that I can think of. I'd have to do that because if I try and work anywhere else, it'd probably take a full year. It would probably take about a year because of how much money I would need. Bro, I literally, the last thing I did was I took the Jeep, which is my dad's car, and I went back into nature because I'm like, yep, spring, it's not cold no more. And like, nature basically got me to a point where it was like, you gotta go take the Jeep back because it doesn't resonate being here and you can't heal with it there. Understand that. We're talking about healing sickle cell, and they're basically saying, like, if you go back home, you can't heal it. Like, and then I'll say to nature, so why don't I just bite the bullet, get this job for this long, save up, and then go on this adventure? And every time I go to do that, my gut starts to like it starts to like push all the way in my body and it feels terrible. And I'm like, that clearly means no. So, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do have a lot of resistance towards working. Because with sickle cell, a lot of times, like, to have money, you have to be consistent. Meaning you have to show up week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and keep going. For me in sickle cell, once I hit like a week 6, I experience like a burnout that requires me to rest to then be able to keep functioning. If I don't rest or do or nurture this burnout, I'm gonna fall apart and I'm gonna lose the job anyway. So it kind of has me like, but I'm gonna say this here. Like I spoke with nature. I told the ancestors and angels like, yo, I'm giving y'all 2 days to like, you know what I'm saying? I'm clearing my energy. I'm giving y'all 2 days to help, figure out some type of money situation, some type of plans or where to go, something. Because I can't keep doing this back and forth and trying to jump to Airbnbs and sleeping in nature. Like, I know for me to finish healing, I need to both have the spiritual and the physical. Nothing else is gonna work. Okay, is this me? Oh, it's doing it. Okay, sorry, my energy is responding right now, and it's not agreeing with the last thing of. Is it saying me not being able to do this, or that see like that's what it's saying? It's responding to me. Oh, let me go get a job. It's responding to that shit. My energy be like, no, nigga. I'd be like, okay. So is there something else I need to go into? So yeah, man, like that mom wound, the mom wound, like I feel like it really affected. And see, like we can go even deeper. My mom is always telling me like, oh, she's not artistic, she's not creative. And what I learned about art is you just do the shit, and then you just find shit that you like, and then you continue doing shit, and you just grow. Everyone can do art. Art is simply about continuing to do shit over and over. Now, some people are born just nasty at that shit. That happens, right? But for the most part, it's like you can just do it and keep doing it. Now that's another block because women create. So we're talking about my mom. One, your mom is damn near white, and I love you, mama, but you was, yeah, I don't care what nobody say. Mama was like the whitest looking person I've ever seen in my life, and I look at the habits that you have now. I look at the things you gravitate towards to now, and it points out like this was kind of like white mom behavior. Even the way you dress, nigga, like I'm like, what is this? Maybe it's a suburban thing, but it wasn't no white people around us where we was at. It was niggas, and then you had some Hispanics. So I'm like, where is this coming from? It's coming from your mom, nigga, right? So you're not into artistic creativity of nothing. You're not into certain like black music. You start this, that, and the other. So part of me is just kind of like, this has affected me in some type of way. This has affected me in some type of way because when you're talking about art energy, we're talking about the feminine energy. This is all right brain, left side of the body. What side of my heel and meridian needed healing in body? It has been the left side. So I'm seeing a connection in that energy. You see what I'm saying? I'm seeing the connection in that energy that has been linked to my mom, which is also root and sacral chakra. And not even just root and sacral chakra, but the bottom three chakras. It seems like it has affected all that shit. That's what Dreamwise was talking about. He said the first 7 years, you're born is your root chakra. The next 7 is the sacral, so 14 to 7 to 14, and then 14 to 21 is your solar. Now I go back to the thing because I understand like my mom sitting there and basically stealing the opportunity for me to get the car. You got to think I would have had the car. That would have been I would have had the car that I chose. That would have been the route. I would have got a feeling from that, like, yeah, this is what I chose, my first car, my experience. I would have got good emotions from that, and then I would have felt confident because no matter what it was, this is what I chose, and something brings a confidence about. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. I don't care how ever you feeling. This is what I chose. She snatched that shit, and so it created like a corruption kind of thing. Like, oh well, you got the root chakra, but now your sacral and your fire is off. Like it's like that. It's like a I gave you $1,000 and slap the shit out of you. It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And I just it's you understand how hard that is to walk away from. You're talking about growing up with a physical condition and your parents having enough money for you to not have to work. That's hard to walk away from, but understanding like if you do walk away from it, your energy is gonna grow and you're going to like actually be able to heal. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Had to. Now the other side of it, go keep going, is it's specifically my heel. My heel feels like it needs healing. And the heel kind of represents one, fear, standing on business. It represents like structural kind of thing, structural kind of energy. And it just, being around my mom, sometimes I just feel like standing on myself and who I really am was hard and difficult. Whether it was me wanting to curse, it felt like I was trying to hold the image of being that 7-year-old boy that's innocent and this, that, and the other. Like I've never said to my mom, I've never looked at my mom dead in her face like, you being fucking annoying, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, I've never done that. I've seen my cousin do that shit. Like, I remember my cousin one time, loud as fuck in front of everybody, was like, yo, mom, shut the fuck up. You ruining the movie. And it was like, that shit, all like, everybody in the room was like, damn, she wasn't lying though. She wasn't lying though. Like, she was ruining them. Like, yo, be quiet. But it was like, I felt like I never did. Like, I couldn't imagine doing that shit to my mom. So I just been letting her do annoying shit for mad long. Where I should have been like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, damn, nigga, you being annoying. Like, leave me alone. I never really expressed myself like how I truly feel. I only expressed the good. So it seemed like I was just doing good. You're super mom. You're perfect. Da 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 da. I was doing this. And then with the bad shit, I just was like, you know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't say shit. I just kept it to myself. And I don't think that's healthy. Again, I'm not saying my mom's a bad mom. All of our moms are programmed in doing some level of stupid shit. It just, I can't live in an environment that's forcing me to do that. I gotta be able to be honest around you. And if I don't feel like I could be honest, I'm not gonna want to be there because I just no, because it feels like it makes you sick. So, um, that was the thing, and I thought about it, I'm like, well, why don't I just stand on it there? My intuition was like, no, nigga, no, leave, leave. Do what makes you happy. I'm happiest when I'm away from my family. My, there's no one in my family who can tell you what like sickle cell is and how it affects me. There's no one. All they'll say is, oh, he has back pain sometimes. Why would I want to be around these people? That's why I say sometimes, like, if the bread was, and I'm be honest, if the bread wasn't there, I would have left a long time ago. In the sense of like, and I think that was my problem. I kept staying there because it was so comfortable. When you experience something so uncomfortable as sickle cell, and then in that same environment you have extreme level comfort, it's like being a crackhead and having like a layer of like crack, like a mountain of crack in front of you, and you just don't know no better. Like, that's really what it's like. And I'm like, yo, I had to get out of this shit. I had to get away from that shit. And the only way I could do it was be in nature for months. I had to be in nature for months to like even break the like spell of like, you should not be here, bro. And it felt like I was like throwing my life away to make my mom happy subconsciously. Now her response was, well, I never said that, and I don't know why you felt like you had to do this, and like, she doesn't understand the energy, emotion things. Like, you're not always aware of what the fuck is going on. You're just doing certain subconscious patterns because it felt safe. Why would I upset the one person that's making me feel safe? The one person that's bringing me comfort. My father's energy's off because he's a man and he has never addressed his emotions ever in his life. So even though you might bring knowledge and certain awareness, your emotions and your energy field feel like fucking you've been swimming in dog shit for like a few years, unbothered and unstopping. So you don't even look at me, don't touch me, don't nothing, right? Like, that's the reality. I'm like, oh, that fucking sucks. But you know, with my sibling, it was just, there's a year difference. So when I was young, she was trying to, go out into her teenage years and adulthood and get up out of here. On top of that, she's a girl. Like, there's certain things that we just not gonna, it just, it's a lot of things I realize about it now. Like, our awarenesses were always in different places because you're 6 years older than me. Um, you know, things like this. So it was like there was a safe space there, but it was just kind of like, well, we're closer in age than our parents are, so it was like easier for us to like talk and get along. But even then, it just was like, I feel like there was like still an awareness of me that wasn't real, right? Because no one in my family has to have to deal with the sickle cell shit the way I did. So there was almost like an awareness of me that wasn't real. In healing sickle cell, I came to realize a lot of me has not been real. It hasn't actually been me. It's been me wearing a mask of whatever sickle cell chose was safest. Whatever mask sickle cell decided was the safest was the version that you were seeing. So the me being scary, me being, like hold the fuck on, me being like I don't want to talk to people, I don't want. A lot of that shit was like sickle cell, like a lot of it. Even like dry edges was a lot. So again, I'd be happiest. I grow the most. I be the most me when I'm away from my family, and I mean everybody. I don't care if it's cousins, siblings, parents, it just aunts, uncles. I just don't like being around none of these niggas, bro. I don't. I'm more so like I might come around holiday, but that's at most all I want. I don't. I don't like being around none of them niggas. I just don't. I never have. It has its moments where it's like, yeah, because this is family, but aside from that, I don't like being around none of them. And I think that's what this part of the journey is showing me. Like, you got to be brutally honest. You have to acknowledge the things that make you happy. What makes me happy is being away from my family. Being around them for me is just too depressing. You're dealing with people who can't see you in any regard. I know I'm on, but I want some juice. I thought he was gonna have water here. He does not. Okay, something. Okay, no juice is needed. Never mind. Never mind. There is a food line near walkable distance, so I'll probably go there tomorrow. So I damn sure ain't going tonight. Alright, about 10, 15-minute walk to. Why would I go that way? How is that possibly a 10, 15? Oh. Let's see. Yeah, I'll probably do it tomorrow. Get some coconut water. So, yeah. Is there anything else I need to say? I think this was an important video because I think some of the two biggest things that has controlled me from a root chakra standpoint. You understand the root chakra is a foundation. It's hard to be emotionally happy and feeling confident in both sacral and solar plexus if you're not stable. It becomes hard to like have those emotions and on a deep depth because you can create them, but if you're not stable, they'll always feel shallow, or they'll always feel fleeting, and more fleeting than they should be because they say happiness is a fleeting emotion, but they'll feel more fleeting than they should be, or you'll become addicted to like creating so much. Like I used to laugh a lot and smile a lot, and I became addicted to doing that so much that it wasn't necessarily just a good thing. Some people are like, oh, he's really happy, and that no, I was masking the pain by creating that a lot, which means it's not stemming from the right place. It can be good, but and it can help your reality, but if it's not stemming from the right place, then something's gonna be off. So, root chakra, my mom. Is there anything? Yup, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So it's 20 more percent of what I need to say. Right. So another thing is like, I need people to understand this because it sounds ridiculous, but if you understand energy, you'll understand it. My mom also has this habit of like, she just like follows behind me in like constantly covering for me, right? I know it sounds like what? How can I explain this? When I was a child, I don't think I ever cleaned my room, like ever. My mom used to clean my room, and most people be like, "What the fuck?" I was a child that was very. I see it now. I was very autistic, and I made it through certain grades because my parents covered these things by doing more, like to cover it to like so it wasn't so primary, right? It wasn't so out there. So I brought it up because like when I was living with my dad for these like 4 years, my mom was hadn't retired yet. I found myself able to do a lot of things myself if I moved at my own speed, right? So me having to deal with sickle cell, you might get tired more often. I'm not putting these dishes away right now. I'm gonna put these bitches away either tonight or tomorrow. But the fact that I'm practicing it, my dad ain't doing that shit. He leaving that shit there. The fact that I'm practicing it, it's building the muscle to where now I'm like getting used to it, and it's like helping me. It's helping me do it a little earlier and earlier and better. Yo, my mom comes after, and I'm loving this these 4 years. I feel like myself. I'm doing my own cooking. The kitchen's always open. I don't have fucking someone feeling like they need to speak to me every time they see me or like you know what I'm saying. I'm in. I'll cook something. I'll come back down. It might be 9 o'clock. Everything's put away. I'm like dog, and I tell her like you gotta stop doing that shit because I eat, and then sometimes I come back down for another plate or another meal. Da da da. So she stops doing it for like a week. After this week, she goes back to doing it and doing it, and every time, and I'm like, I'm not here to fucking tell you over and over to stop doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting in the fucking way of me being a person and an adult. You're not even seeing the fact that I have a condition. I need to do things my way and at my speed so I can feel like a normal fucking person. It's like I damn near have to jolt her shit. Like, I gotta scare her. Like, nigga, I'm a fucking man. Nigga, stop playing. Like, it almost feels like that type of energy. I don't like being around that. That's weird. But I felt more responsible and like an adult because it was like I would come down later that night, maybe put it away, or I'd come down the next AM and put it away. But I felt like I was taking care of myself. She wasn't here. I was cleaning my room. I was doing this. I was doing like, you know what I'm saying? So it just was like I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying you have certain habits that are not conducive for me. You're not understanding what's needed for my condition or how I need to do things my way for myself because that's important on being a person, and therefore you're doing it for me. And I'm like, dog, I can't grow like this. You're sitting here folding my laundry. I cannot grow like this. Just fucking leave it there. Throw it in the basket. No one asked you to fold it. I understand you're trying to be a great person, but what you're doing is you're creating a subconscious addicted mama's boy. Please stop doing this shit. What am I gonna do? Be on guard? I'm not putting the dishes away right away. I'm not doing that because I'm tired. I'm not doing things like this because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm fucking tired. I just cooked all this shit by myself. I'm good. I'm not doing that. So it just was like I see so many patterns and things. I'm like, I just gotta get away from you, my nigga. I just do. Being around for you is not good for my health. That's one of the things that blow me because I'm trying to have my weight right. You putting the food away. I wasn't finished eating. I don't like food now that's in the fridge. I don't use the microwave, so I don't even want to go through the process of heating this up. It's in the Instapot. It stays warm for some time. You putting shit away. I don't use the microwave, dog. You're creating too many inconveniences for me. And I don't like that. You're not allowing the energy to breathe. Same thing with you getting the car. Yeah, you did the root part, but now you done stole the emotions and the confidence that I would have felt from, wow, this was my decision and my choice. The independence from those things, right? And it's not full independence. I'm not paying for the car, but having that experience of like, you know, I just couldn't deal with that shit. There's too many habits and things there that I'd be like, yo, you're blowing me, dog. You're blowing me, nigga. Please, please, please. So what are we at? 90, 95. So my thing now is just figuring out how necessary to move forward. How do you, I don't want to say how do you fill that void, But how do you heal that so that your energy fills up in a way that works for you in your life, where you're not hyperly dependent on this person, knowing that if you do go and be dependent on this person, you're basically gonna enmesh your root chakra with them? And no, the answer is no. Is that it? There's more. And now the other side of it is that they're showing me, which is weird enough. Oh, okay, okay, that makes more sense. Is um, so I guess my mom's mom, right? When I was a kid, she was the only person that spent time with me for like me. Like when I was a kid, I loved video games. That's all I did. Nobody wanted to sit down with me and play video games or talk to me or anything. They didn't want to do that. She was the only person who did that and showed genuine interest in the shit that I was doing. So I was very close to her. When she died when I was 7, like I didn't really take that shit well. So like Dreamwise talks about like niggas who experience that, they kind of go into like fuck everything, I don't care. I was too young. I was a very sensitive child, so I didn't go into that. I just was really really sad, and um, I did more of the like. I think I shoved it in the back of my mind and just never really thought about it again. And that was like how I dealt with it because I didn't know what else to do. I cried. I blamed myself as if that made any sense. And then it was like I shoved that shit in the back of my mind because I didn't want to think about it. So I distracted myself. I feel like this has an effect on who I am as a man because if your mom is your first God, then what is your grandmother? And then how did that affect you? And how did both of them individually and together affect you? I grew up in suburban environments where like everything was just seemingly like good, but then I think about what did I really pick up or learn from them spiritually. Like I really don't know. I don't. One thing I say, my mom does work hard. She does work hard like a motherfucker, but spiritually, yeah, my energy literally just now is like we're not talking about physically working hard. We're talking about spiritually right now. Spiritually, I feel disconnected, and I notice there's a pattern where I'm very attracted to American Indian black women. When I say American Indian, I understand that the Indians are the original black people of America and not people who came from some transatlantic slave bullshit. I'm talking about people who are originally niggas that we was here already. I'm addicted to those type of women. There's a thing that just does something. It's like my soul and heart and spirit gets like a boner for them. Like it gets up for them. It does. But because of what I've experienced physically, I've never felt like I was in a position to properly care for, protect, provide. I would never, so I just kind of leave them alone. There's only been one, and I've already annoyed the fuck out of her because I couldn't be like, I'm retarded, but I want you to love me because I have a spiritual connection. I feel between, like, nigga, hey, it is what it is. I'm weird, bro. I ain't never really been on the physical plane like you niggas was, so I'm not surprised. And I feel like that's me trying to correct something. Like I'm trying to correct, like our bloodline is all the men are choosing either white women or really light skinned with black women. I want the really, really brown one that's darker than me. Like I've always been this way since I was a kid. Like they're like Moesha, the girl from Girlfriends. I don't know what her name is. Actually, we can look it up right now. Moesha, the girl from Girlfriends, the girl from Head of State. Like it's just certain. This girl, don't say her name. This girl when I was a kid. It's just certain black women that they're like brown skin and more. Damn, she look kind of crazy here. I was a child. That was OD. I don't know what her name is, but I always liked her. I don't know which one it is that I like, but the two darker skin ones. But see, my thing is I kind of like everybody, but those type of girls, bro. Oh my god, they do something. But I feel like I'm trying to correct something in the sense of like the men in my family have always chosen like light skinned women. My my grandmother looked white. My dad's mother is light to the point where I saw her when she was younger. I was like, what the fuck? She was light as hell. Anybody ever thought? I was like, she was light as hell. I'm like, where is this pattern that like? And it's funny because both my grandfathers are dark skinned. Both of them. My dad's dad was dark skinned. My mom's dad was dark skinned. But their wives were light as fuck. And I'm like the only person that is like people might look back on my life and be like, well, you was always either dating somebody that looked white skin, light skin, or Hispanic. So what are you talking about? Those were the people that I felt safe with and emotionally I could say X, Y, and Z. Whenever I try to talk to black girls, like that shit just did not work. Or they triggered too many emotions that I'm like, I can't converse because I'm autistic. So that's what would happen. But what I've always really wanted was like that American Indian black woman. But again, I can't. That's what I mean. Spiritually, I felt like I couldn't do my job and role that was needed for you. So these other women, it don't fucking matter if I'm there or not because it don't. I don't feel like I care if I could do the role or not. I don't give a fuck. That sounds fucked up, but it sounds fucked up, but it's true. I realize it now. That was the truth. The truth was I didn't. I didn't give a fuck if I couldn't do the role or not. Bitch, I'm here. I'm gonna live some part of life. But with black women, I felt like I couldn't do the role. I might as well stay away from you. Like, I'm not gonna make your life miserable too. I don't give a fuck. That's terrible of me. But I'm seeing like, you know, that actually stemmed from what I experienced. Damn. Maybe that's why my grandfather chose these other women. They couldn't measure the role spiritually. All right, just a thought, but there's something there. I don't know. I feel like that was something in me, in my family or my bloodline for me to break. But I don't know at this point. I don't know how I feel. I mean, even when I was in nature was like, you're gonna marry a black woman. I hope you know this. I'm like, cool. We get to that healing stage where I'm like, not skin and bones and fucking, you know, making goes up and can do certain things. Yeah, sure. Alright, one last thing of the heal. What element do I need to heal? Ask the questions. I'll do what you always do. So for me, I talk to my intuition. I talk to my energy. I ask it questions all day. All day. All day. I treat this shit like I don't know how to word it, but I just ask it. I treat this shit like I don't want to say God, but imagine you had a God hotline. That's what I'd do. I'd be like, what element do I need to finish my healing? And you get like an answer that's like, it like hot or cold. So it basically it'll say yes or no. So you might ask a question like, what element do I need to heal? And it might say yes or no. And in it saying yes or no, yes means hot, like you play hot peas and butter, or you hot, you near the belt. You cold, you going for it. It do that. So I'll be like, what element? So if I ask a question like that and it says yes, it means you're going in the right direction. It might not be the right or most accurate answer. I mean, a question, but you're going in the right direction. So if that means in the right direction, the next logical answer, question, in my opinion, would be, okay, what element do I need? And then I'll start saying, okay, earth, cold, air, cold, water, cold, fire. Right? It'll do that. Now, I'm not saying that that's accurate because I'm going to keep that information for myself what element it is, and I'm about to do it right now. Okay, I knew it was that element for now, but um, I do shit like that all day. That helps me. Um, and then sometimes I'll be like, do I need to stop? Yeah, I was gonna say, do I need to stop? I'll ask you, do I need to stop doing this? Am I relying on this too much? Um, is there anything I need to look at right now? Is there anything I need to learn, get rid of, go get? Is there any, like, I'll just do that shit. Or I'll go to places that feel out of sync and just sit with it to see how I can resync it. So yeah, that was the first video. I feel clear. I feel some level safe, and I also feel like I want to figure out what the fuck am I supposed to do from here. Cause not like I'm staying here mad long. I'm staying here for like 2 days. I said I'm giving my ancestors and angels and nature 2 days, and then I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to do. Cause I'm tired and I'm over it. Oh god, oh, you know what's beautiful? I'm like my back, but you don't know. Growing up, that used to be an actual pain. This just feels like it needed to stretch it. Oh god. Oh, oh, oh god. It's funny because I can keep going. That left side that I talked about, that is um, requiring healing due to being around my mom. You gotta think, if someone's constantly like snuffing the fire, it doesn't grow. That side feels like it just needs to stretch. It's so funny how that shit just mirrors and plays out. It really is. Is there any? Yes. Alright, is that it? 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. So it feels like I said this already. I gotta correct the bloodline. We need like an actual. I don't want to say it like this, but it's what I feel like we feel. I feel like we need an actual black woman that can spiritually do certain things in the family. I feel like when I go to my mom's side, it doesn't feel like it's in sync whatever the spiritual expansion is requiring. Even when I go on my father's side, it doesn't feel like the same thing. Like, it doesn't resonate, in my opinion. Like, they just seem too often out of like, one, on my mom's side, my grandmother's dead, and on my dad's side, I feel like me and her don't really mesh well. Like, we do, but it'll only be if I like shrink myself. If I don't, and it's like that in my whole family. If I shrink myself, everything's fine. If I do anything outside of that, they all subconsciously react in very subconsciously aggressive ways. And again, I'm not necessarily blaming them. We're talking about spirituality. This shit could be certain entities that know that, like, if this nigga stretch his legs and get his win, we gonna be cooked. So right, because I'm like, that's the thing. Some people say like certain days of the week you born. I'm a Friday born. Apparently niggas with Friday is like we fire and we destroy demons. And they was like, well, if a Friday born gets in their power, it's quiet for all of them, so they attack the Friday borns the most, so that them niggas can't get in their power. So that could also be, I brought a very different childhood, bro. I had a very, very different childhood. Friday born, I had to have sickle cell. Fucking my favorite grandmother, the one nigga that listened to me, died around my birthday when I was like 7. Like, I have had to experience a lot of shit, bro. I've been on the hospital bed dozens of times. Been in pain for, boy, boy, and no one in my family is no one in my family has the type of disease that I had. None of them understand any of it. So certain things that I look at, I'm like, yo, what the fuck type of path was built out for me? But then I remember God works in this weird way where if you have a path that's that fucking ridiculous, it means you have a power that is equal to that or more. And your purpose is to figure out how to step in that shit, be that shit, command that shit, and wield that shit. Now that's what I'm trying to do, is figure out how to be in that power. Now it's funny I said that because I want to go into a story. I know I talk a lot, but I want to go into a story that when I had a near-death experience, the girl I was obsessed with as a kid, she resembles like the perfect American Indian to me. I still to this day think she's perfect, even though I can now see her flaws. She's still perfect. But we're breaking out of that still. Whatever. I don't care. I feel like raging when they're not gonna break. They're not gonna break Speedy. And Speedy said, "I don't care." I don't care. So, um, when I was having this near death experience, I posted a picture on Instagram that was like thank you to everyone who noticed. And I feel like the only two people that reached out to me was her and like a childhood acquaintance that I had. And I convinced myself that like it meant that I was supposed to marry her because I had an experience where when I was younger and like it did something to me. It was like on a spiritual level. And like I always was like obsessed with her, but I would never, like I said, I felt subconsciously I couldn't fulfill these roles, so I stepped away from them. So when she came and said this to me, like I kind of just in my own mind was like I'm supposed to marry her, and it lit a fire in me to like get out of. Cause you understand when you have a near death experience, sometimes like you can be in like a mental hole. I was in a mental, emotional hole that because I also had sickle cell, I was also in a physical hole that I had to get out of. I was also in a spiritual hole. And the thought of her drove me to get out of all of that shit, which I successfully did to a degree. To a degree. Mentally, I got out of it. I feel like emotionally, I got out of it. Physically is where I struggled the most because for me, it's like, I feel like me being able to say physically I got out of it means like I built something for myself to sustain myself physically. Spiritually, I felt like I got out of it, but then the spiritual world is kind of like constantly something being thrown at you. So I don't know why this was important for me to talk about. It's kind of left field, but yeah, like they just do something. I feel like I'm supposed to fix that, or maybe I'm just supposed to find it in myself. Okay. Oh, it's saying both. Cool. So, mm, it's like one little thingy, or do I keep going? Alright. Alright, I felt like going into this. I just felt like it was important because I feel like so many different things I had to deal with on a root chakra level that it was crazy. It always mirrors. So that the heel, now I wear flat shoes, and now the back of my body is like stretching so that like my posture and alignment and even like the way I walk and the way my muscles move is like all like aligning itself and restructuring properly. It's really nice. But I feel like the back of my leg is like stretching out. Like I feel like how tight it was. It was like it's ridiculous. So it's like stretching your wings, get away from your mother, nigga. I look crazy like that. Sometimes clear audiences. Okay, I want me to continue into that. There are certain people that if you have children with them, whatever curses on your bloodline will break. There's certain people if you have children with that whatever curses on yours and hers or vice versa, they will break. That is what I feel when it comes to old girl, right? Now, I've I thought I had healed enough to where like this person just goes away. But like there's just certain things that when it hits spiritually, like it's never gonna go away. You just can't do anything about that shit. But they be sleeping, so they don't know. And it's not my. I had to learn this the hard way. It's not my job to step in and force it to happen. That's not my job. Um, I think it's important because I think that's part of. That sounds crazy to say that because your grandmother is damn near white that you think it's a curse, but there's something there that needs to be fixed, and I can feel it. There's a spiritual essence missing, right? So even though on my mom's side, her father and mother stayed together and they worked hard, they had their own business, they lived in the suburbs, there was a spiritual essence missing. And that's what I get from my mother. There's a spiritual essence missing. So like they say that they're Native American tribe, and I do see a lot of gifts there in the sense of like the intuition is very strong and all these different things, but they're not conscious of it in the sense of like we're actively using this to better our lives and do XYZ. They don't seem to be doing that. They seem to have been very physically in good standing, but spiritually the essence seems missing. And now on my father's side, his mother and father did not stay together. And so while there's like, to me, she seems more spiritual than, my mom's side. It was like the physical and emotional was so out of whack that like for me a lot of times the spiritual didn't really make up for that because it was like, and I think also that's because of sickle cell. I think it's because of sickle cell. It'd be hard for me to be around like very physically and emotionally turbulent people. It's very difficult for me to be around. Again, sickle cell is a physical disease, meaning on the root chakra, I'm not going to bring something problematic and something else problematic together. It's just not going to work. So that is what I've always like found there. So the only thing I'm looking at is like, this is kind of eye-opening because a part of me wants to say like, well, that's it right there. You got to bring the spiritual and the physical together. But it's like I already knew that, and something about this seems missing. I think my mom's side is more direct because it's my mom. So my mom and her mom are more direct and have always been more direct in my life than my dad's mom. So I feel like it's closer. You know what I'm saying? It's closer. That's what it feels like. And because it's like, well, maybe if I spent more time with my grandmother, and my intuition's like, no. No. You've seen how that goes. No. So I'm like, okay. So the only thing I'm looking at is it seems like something spiritually needs to be, for lack of better words, fixed when it comes to the feminine energy that I have inherited. I just question, how does this work? Because if I'm letting go of this physically, wouldn't I have to fix both? Intuition is saying no. So okay. okay, when you say fixed spiritually, because I can feel the energy right now. When you say fixed spiritually, is it fixed spiritually in the sense of something you're doing yourself, or is it more so a spiritual union kind of thing? And union doesn't necessarily mean, oh, a boy and a girl come together. Sometimes it could mean family, it could be people, it could be niggas, it could be a lot of different things. That feels like is what is needed, like spiritual union, conscious spiritual union. Anything else becomes annoying, in my opinion. Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's going off. Conscious spiritual union. There's something about this I immediately don't know or understand, in the sense of how does other people attribute okay, that makes sense. How do other people attribute to the healing you need with your own chakras? Because other people, hold on, what the fuck did I just say? How does someone else have any role in you healing yourself when technically you're supposed to be the one doing your healing? So it's something along that, like, sharing space with others and meshing with others kind of thing. I need to look into this. Something. I'm gonna look into that. Seems like a very lower chakra kind of thing. I see it now. It's like a tribe. You have the people around you, that's the root. The connection y'all share is the emotion, and that's the sacral. And the confidence of having people that have your highest good on different levels. That creates like a confidence, or like a something to be inspired by, to be driven for. Hold on. So, I need to take a shower. I'm not showering tonight, but I damn sure need to shower now. Now, this side, this side is where I'm gonna look to fix. I'm gonna figure out how to fix that. And I am gonna do it. Again, you can fix anything, I will say. And this side's not bad. I'm saying this side's doable, this side's nice. But this side here, I'm like, damn, that cowlick is crazy. Like, look how, like, not normal that is. Like, this side is chilling, right? That looks normal. And then this cowlick is like, what in the fuck? So I wonder what that represents and how I would fix that. Okay. Ooh, we can ask it right here now. You feel it? Feel it. Okay. Because my thought was thinking right brain, but my energy is saying no. Because I'm like, that's not your right brain. It's your left brain over there if you're holding the left side of your head. It's basic. Did I talk about that? I have a theory that, so your fascia in your body, right? Your chakra again. We got the red on. Your fascia works how, like, think when you walk. When you walk, your right shoulder goes forward to your left hip. there's like an X connection, and you see that in the fascia where certain places pull, but it's like an X. So this part is connected, right shoulder to that left hip, left shoulder to that right hip. That's how you run, right? That's how you move. So I kind of also thought of like the front and the back of the body kind of being an X. So what if like your toes have something to do with like the back of your head, or the back of your mind, whatever, back of your brain, I don't know. And your heels have something to do with the front of your head, right? I feel like there's a connection there, and I say that because if you have like back pain and shit, I know it sounds wild. I can feel the connection. It's the making sense of it. It's I'm the Pisces moon, Gemini Sun, Pisces moon. Fuck with your boy. I have the answer. If you're a Pisces moon, you have the answer. You just don't know what it means, why it's there. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at 20 options. This is the answer right here. I know it is. Why? I don't know. So then that Virgo polar opposite moon just sits there and tries to reverse engineer it to make sense out of it. That's what gives me a kick out of shit. I like reverse engineering the shit my intuition shows me. So I have that connection. So what heel do you think I need to heal? The left one. The left heel, left here. So now here's what I was gonna say. I also believe that like it has to do with like your hips, like your hip and your side. My hip also needs healing. Left heel, left hip. So your heel actually like leads up to what like your hip is. It's crazy. So your heel is like the sciatic, which is a nerve that runs through like the heel, the back of the leg, the hip. And if it's not in place, it hurts. My shit, I can feel my shit right now. So my thing is like, well, if you heal it, then the energy will just normalize. Most people think of healing of, let me exercise, let me do this. No, bitch, I'm going straight to nature, and I'm just like, give me that shit, nigga. Hell yeah, nigga, give me that shit. Right? Um, do not do that right now, I guess. Alright. But yeah, I have a theory with that, and I'm gonna fucking fix that shit, and I'm gonna be sitting here. My hairline with the kid was beautiful, but I'm gonna do that shit. I know I'm like jumping subjects right now. There's something else I need to say. Oh, I was gonna say, a lot of times you see women have nice hairlines, or they're not really like balding, or like their natural hair isn't receding, because women naturally have dominant lower half of the body energy. That's why they don't like thinking, or they like to flow. They like to let go. Think of grounding. Think of these kind of energies, grounding and shit like that. They always got their feet out. They're grounding. They're letting go of the energy. They're flowing. That's why their hairlines be fire, nigga. Literally, that's why they don't be going bald and shit. Because their lower half of the body is in connection. They toes and heels is in connection. They shit so strong, it don't even matter that they could wear 10-inch heels with they fucking heel this far from the ground, disconnected from earth. They shit so strong, it doesn't matter. So I've come to that conclusion. That's what it is. So all I gotta do is finish healing that lower half of the body. That side, my hairline gonna be good. My shit just watch. My shit gonna just grow in and look beautiful. I mean, weirdly enough, it kind of still looks cool. Like I don't understand it, but it looks cool. So I'm gonna just let it be. But that's what that shit is, bro. I have a lot of theories about a lot of things, and I'd be right. So I'm just having fun with it. Um, Front toe, toes, back. That's how. Yeah, see my left heel. My left heel feels ridiculous. Mm. Um, yeah, I feel like everything I just spoke on is connected in some form of fashion, physically and spiritually. Root chakra, earth, women, mom injuries and shit. And like, to me, it kind of like, damn. So you know what's kind of crazy? If my right heel is good, does that mean my father did his job? Is that me? Would that be yo? Because as I'm older now, I be like, yo, my father was trying to tell me a lot of shit. He just did not know how to connect. Like, this is kind of fucked up, dog. Yo, my locks get long, bro. I can't. Like, even now, even the state they're in now, just like this shit hard as fuck. But I mean, like, yo, is it saying my dad did what he was supposed to do, or like he spiritually, like, wow, I actually got a yes. Like, he spiritually did what he was supposed to do. It's deeper than that, wording in that way, but you're in the right area. He he covered what he needed to do, cover spiritually. He brought you the things he needed to bring you spiritually. Your mother did not. And that is why you're so obsessed with the other girl, because you feel in her bloodline she has that thing that your mom did not have. Damn. Damn. That's crazy, dog. That is so crazy to me. It's like, yeah, your dad did his role spiritually. Your mom, she covered a lot of shit on the physical plane, but spiritually, no, hell no. So now it's like, and a part of me is like, do I sit here and I try and fix this myself? But it's saying no. Like, you're not meant to fix it. I gotta do information about that. And it makes sense. If when you're around other people, your healing can multiply. Like, it can, accelerate. But being around people is the fucking, how the fuck am I supposed to be around people? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's very like, but we'll see. Alright, peace. I'm gonna upload this immediately.